All right, welcome to Yin. We're actually going to begin today in child's pose. I'll talk a little bit about the breath while you're in child's pose, but if you'd like to take a blanket over you or underneath you, that's fine too. So we're going to separate the knees nice and wide and sit down back as far as you can. I'm going to use a bolster today, but you don't have to. You can place your head on the mat. We're going to let our arms rest at our sides. And then just bring your head to the bolster. So maybe for you, you turn your head to one side or you let your forehead come down. And again, you don't have to have the bolster. You could just use the mat, which I am going to do today. So I will show you that as well. So usually we take a few minutes at the beginning of our class to really check in with the breath. So let's also do that today while we're here in this child's pose. So maybe it's a day that you've had that you need to really let go of any tension that you've been holding in the mind or the body. So take some really nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. Make sure the lips are closed. And really just begin to feel the energy of the body. We're in spring, moving into spring. And so as you relax here today, maybe thinking about the energies of spring. The energies of spring for balance and renewal. So what does balance and renewal mean to you? So maybe there was a couple of words that came to mind when you think of spring or balance and renewal. So as you come out of that pose nice and gently, come to a nice comfortable seat. We'll extend the legs out in front of us. Maybe a couple of words that you thought about, you can set them as your intention for today's practice. Anytime your mind wanders, you can begin to think about those words, your practice of spring. So I'm sitting up on a little blanket to elevate my hips a bit today. And we can use the bolster on top of the thighs if you'd like. If that feels good to you. We're just going to do a forward fold here. So with the legs stretched out, belly pulls in. Just go ahead and just fold forward as much as you can. Again, let's let our head, if it's comfortable, come down onto a bolster block or maybe even down to your knees. You don't feel like using any props. You're welcome just to tuck the chin in towards the chest and feel the weight of gravity. So taking this next few moments just to find your breath, find the pose, and sink into it a little bit more. And just like the last pose, find the weight of gravity just gently pulling you forward and down. Check in that you're softening your face, softening your jaw. Softening your eyes if they're not closed. Maybe the gaze is soft and comfortable. And so take a nice deep breath in, and we'll just slowly rise up. Take just a few moments here and let's roll the shoulders back just to check in. All right. Let's draw the soles of the feet together. It's called butterfly pose in yin. And normally we do this in a pretty deep forward bend, but we were in a deep forward bend already. So we're going to modify this just a little bit. You're welcome to put blocks underneath your knees if you need a little bit of support. So today we're going to walk the hands out in front of us. So I'm on my fingertips. And just start to come forward, pushing the butt back, belly in. And we're not going to drop the head here. We're just going to draw the throat back. And come forward until we feel a nice little stretch there in the inner groin and maybe low back. So it's maybe, for most of us, probably about halfway or 3/4 of the way into the pose that we usually do. You can add a little bit more by walking your arms out to the side, more crab-like, bringing the elbows up. Or you can keep them out in front or kind of vary your position, whatever feels good for your shoulders today. So try not to let the head drop, just feel the release, maybe the chest coming down a little bit more than usual. And big breaths into the lower back, massaging the hips, inner groin, and low back. Your face is still relaxed and comfortable. Breathing in and out through the nose. Noticing the softness of our breath. And maybe we begin now to take some longer exhalations. If your shoulders are starting to feel heavy, notice if you're drawing the shoulders towards the ears. Let's try to roll the shoulders down the back. Use the muscles of the back to draw the shoulder blades towards each other and maybe get a little bit more stretch in the upper back instead of compressing the neck. On your inhale, let's push those fingertips into the earth. Slowly lift yourself up. So we'll just move right into the next pose. It's a nice, easy transition. We'll take this right leg and just bring the foot back. So in yin, this is actually called the deer pose. I just call it my favorite twist. So we want to try to keep both feet flexed so that our knee stays happy. So let's turn a little bit over our left leg here. And take just a second, soften the shoulders, deepen the breath, feel the energy now that we rested the front body. Now we're lifting the front body. We'll take this pose in stages. This will be the first stage, and maybe you want to stay right here. The second is we just keep walking the hands behind us, and so we feel a twist in our waist. Maybe even in this right hip here. And if you feel like going into the third stage, you can bring your elbows to the mat or maybe even rest your body on a bolster. But again, we're twisting right at the waist. We feel that movement right underneath the rib cage. If you've gone this far, maybe your head rests on a block or on the floor. So this is a very good pose for digestion. So let's really make sure our breath is nice and comfortable. Long, long, long exhalations just to begin to soften and relax into this space. So let's come out of this one step at a time, walking those hands back, slowly taking your time to unwind. So twists can be kind of energizing, but they also can drain you if you have a lot of tension in this area of the body. So let's work on to the other side. So my left foot is behind, then we're going to turn to the right. So start in this deer pose, right? Shoulders back, deep breaths. We're twisting to your right today. And if that feels good, you can kind of walk your hands behind you, see if you can feel that stretch in that left hip. See how that feels for a few breaths. And if that feels good to you, maybe we come down a little bit deeper onto the elbows or our bolster. And again, you can let your head rest either on a prop or on the mat. Maybe after you've been here a while, you'll be able to take that prop out from underneath you and relax even a little bit more. This is a good pose for thinking about spring. Renewal and balance. Releasing in a twist all of the old, stuck energy. So take your time slowly unwinding. Beautiful. So I'm going to come down onto our back. I'm going to bring a little blanket underneath my head, but you don't have to if you want. We're going to do another twist here today. So let me show you. I don't think we've done this one actually recently, and it may be out of your range of motion. So you'll just have to kind of play with it and see what works best for you. Let's take the legs straight up towards the ceiling. And we're going to start with the left. So take the left leg over and just wrap it around as much as you can. It's called a tree root pose. So just wrap it around as much as you can, right? Knees come in towards the chest. And then you'll just drop the knees over to the right. So for me, I have to kind of switch over a little bit, drop the knees down, and the legs are as twisted for me on this side as they're going to be. Now, if those knees don't come all the way to the mat, obviously you can use a block or something underneath the knees to support, or you can just let gravity stretch this whole left hip, right? So I'm going to keep my gaze up towards the ceiling on this one, and I'm going to open my arms wide. So just take the arms wide as if you're in a T position, and see if you can get the shoulders to relax into the floor. And you can wiggle around a little bit for those shoulders, especially if that left shoulder seems to be popping up. As you kind of feel the twisted roots of the tree all the way up your body. And so let's just settle here and take some nice deep breaths. So that pose isn't as long because we just did a nice big twist as well. So let's gently bring the legs back. Rest on your back for just a moment. Check in with that left side of the body. Does it feel like it's been really twisted up, stretched, released? So let's do the same. Let's go ahead and extend the legs up. And we'll take the right leg over. Again, twisting it as much as you can here. Right? Beautiful. And then we'll drop the knees over to the left. Use any props that you need. And let's go ahead. If it's comfortable for you, we'll change the arms just a little bit. So we'll do like cactus arms here, if that feels good for your body. If not, you can just keep stretching the arms out. It's a really nice full breath here in this right side of the body, right hip. Maybe you're even feeling some quadriceps today, rib cage, shoulder. Can we relax that right shoulder? Go ahead and relax the arms. Release the legs. Let's take a moment, draw the knees in towards the chest. Just make sure that lower back feels grounded today. It will in the next pose anyway, so Maybe gently rocking from side to side. See how that feels. So I don't usually repeat poses in yin, but today I'm going to. And I'm going to do it just for a more grounding. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together again in butterfly pose, this time on our backs. So hopefully it's a little easier for those of you who it was challenging. You can put blocks or blankets underneath the knees to even make it more restorative. And if you're cold or if you want a little bit of weight, you can put the blanket on the hips. It's a great place for that. I also will encourage you that if you want to feel more grounded in yin as the wind picks up and the spring changes and there's lots of energy moving, you could always bring some crystals or stones that you feel are helpful for you in grounding. And when we get to this point in the class, you could place one on the third eye and maybe one on the belly or one on the heart. So there's an option for you, of course. So today, let's go ahead and place one hand on the center of the chest and one hand right over the navel. Make sure the shoulders feel comfortable in this pose. You can prop up your elbows if you need to. So I know our focus has been opening hips, low back, inner groin. Let's also bring the focus underneath these hands. Just if you feel like there's lots of energy moving around, maybe just a little pressure in both of these spots just to ground you into the earth. It's like taking that energy and just drawing it in and balancing. Let's see if for the next few minutes you can really focus on this grounding and nice long exhale breaths to help with that process. Taking a deep breath. Let's release the arms. Open them up nice and wide. So we bring the legs together gently. Let's step the feet as wide as the mat. And then just gently let the knees fall from side to side. A little flow, very slowly. You can turn your neck too, so maybe the head turns in the opposite direction of the knees. So as you bring your knees back to center, let's move into our final relaxation. So if you'd like to just stretch the legs out completely and stretch the arms out, or if you feel like cocooning up just to make yourself keep nice and warm. Or for those of you who have spent too much time on your back, you're welcome, obviously, to relax on your side. So whatever position you choose, let's try to keep ourselves nice and warm. So I'm going to suggest for this pose that maybe we turn our palms up on our sides and find that mudra. So there's a couple of mudras that I like, but for today, since we're kind of celebrating this spring, let's bring all the fingers to touch the thumb. It's kind of like a little bud. Okay. And just feel that slight energy of the tips of your fingers against the thumb. In this beautiful season of balance and renewal, what do those words mean to you? How are you going to bring them in to your life this season? Let's relax our fingers. Take a deep breath. Feel the beautiful energy from the toes, the crown of the head. Maybe a few gentle stretches to awaken joints. Let's take a few moments of rest on our side. The poem today is called The Equinox. The vernal equinox ushers in the perfect day, where neither light nor dark predominates. Although the sky remains the same dull and dripping gray, I fancy there's a change, a certain brightness in the clouds, an increase in the call of crows and cardinals. Or maybe it's the reflected hope in my own eyes that adds a touch of mystery to spring. Several clumps of daffodils strut their yellow stuff as if competing for a prize. And the worms are out in force today, slithering across the driveway. I step carefully around them on my way to get the mail. The dogwood buds, completely closed last spring, are starting, oh so slowly, to relax their tight grip on themselves. There is such promise in beginnings, a new season stretching forward like a cat emerging from a nap, licking long whiskers, looking curiously around to see what happened while it slept. I invite you, if you wish, to come up to join me in bringing your hands to our heart. Let's chant the sound of Om together to close our practice today. Deep breath in. Om. May you go in peace. Namaste.